You want to start us off?
Sure. So we've been wanting to do an EverQuest podcast for a little bit, and what better time now that we have the massive debacle of the current TLP situation, which has caused Daybreak, or not Daybreak anymore, Darkpaw to go after the P99 people.
Well, Project Quorum, which is like running off like the Alcabor like server thing, right? And then you have the hero's journey. I think that's tied into that's his own thing, because I mean, you basically, for those servers, are like running an executable. You're just like, you're not going through the whole loops of like the P99 like titanium edition and all that stuff. It's just like you download it, you can kind of just run it.
Right. And the main issue I think the whole community is having is, why are we taking away a better way to play the game, a way that many people enjoy? The hero's journey has 5,000 plus people on it at some points.
That's a lot.
And I've played it. I know a lot of influencers out there in the community tell people that are new, if you want to start playing EverQuest, you start on the hero's journey.
Which is kind of crazy, because it's the most complicated version of the game. Like, I mean, aside from playing like a lot, like live, like understanding, like having to like go to multiple NPCs and like you have to be familiar with the game to, I think, even like begin playing the hero's journey, right?
Yeah, but the main thing about the hero's journey is you don't have a massive grind. You very quickly start to gain levels. You can experience a lot of the content by yourself as a solo player, where you're not able to do that in the normal classic experience.
Right, like it respects your time. It allows you to do things on your own without waiting for a group, or like it lets you basically do your thing. Like, do you want to go do this? Then go do it. You don't have to wait for anything.
Because let's face it, a lot of us are getting older. You know, we're getting gray hair. We don't have all day to be playing video games.
Kids, responsibilities. Like, you don't have the time to dedicate a full night's worth of raiding anymore, or grinding in a group for 6 hours.
Because we started playing back in 1999, and I think one of the things that kept on bringing me back to EverQuest was I never completed all the content up until Plane of Power, because either I wasn't in that elite raiding guild, I didn't have the time to grind everything out, and the Hero's Journey gave me an opportunity to see a lot of the content that I would not have been able to see in any other way.
Yeah, that's true.
But now that's all been potentially taken away from us because of a suit by Darkpaw. That's occurring mainly because they cannot compete with two guys in a garage doing part-time development on a server.
Yeah, we've talked about it. I think realistically, like, what we're talking about is, it's like Darkpaw basically released a dud of a TLP, which people aren't that interested in playing, or more interested in playing Project Quorum, or the hero's journey, for a more compelling, more fun experience, rather than forking over money to pay on a server rule set that's just not offering very much different than what we've already experienced. I mean, capping to level 50, and then like you get access to a couple of different expansions right off the gate. Like, I think people have played this content. I mean, people have been replaying TLPs for over 10 years, like a decade of TLPs. And the most innovative thing we have ever seen was the innovation when they added Agents of Change, and then when they added the Mischief server rule set, which, I think we can all agree Mischief was an explosive hit for them. It was the most popular server rule set like ever created.
So I think we've seen that there's demand for rule sets that are way out there, way different. And I think Darkpaw needs to get out of their lane, where we believe what they're trying to do, and why they keep it the same format is they're trying to funnel people into the current live in-game. Yeah, so make it through 30 server expansion, or 30 expansions to get to the current in-game.
Yeah, because I think they kind of tried out something when they made what was it? is it Agnar the one that goes through Plains of Power and just like stopped, or was that the Eridu? Or no, that's is it? It was Agnar.
I think it's Agnar.
Yeah, Agnar. So Agnar, I think they don't want to have to create these. The more crazier rule set they make, the harder it is to like shoehorn into like a live server, because I think ultimately, even though it's like unrealistic, is to convert a TLP player into like a long-term sub that's playing the live version of EverQuest. But I think we're all kind of aware like that probably rarely happens. I think most people are just playing TLPs for like roughly maybe a year until like the next TLP comes out.
Yeah, we've both played many TLPs, and I don't like the game class pop. So no matter what they do, I'm not playing past pop because it's just not going to happen. So why not give me something new for the casual players that aren't interested in that? If someone wanted to play till live, they've had 25 years to do that, and they've never done it. So why all of a sudden, as a player, that you're not getting new players, you're not getting young kids coming into this game, so you're trying to convince someone that's been playing the game 25 years, okay, now finally they're going to make it all the way through to the last expansion of the game.
Like remember this old content that you never played because you didn't have time and it wasn't actually as good as like the older content that you remember. Like nothing, you're not changing anything to make me want to play that. And realistically, like their best option is to like iterate on those first couple expansions and create something novel. But like we said, I think there's a stability in the current model that they have where they're guaranteed a certain amount of income by subscribers for the TLPs, by chrono purchases, by the TLPs, by and they've got guaranteed source of money using that. So I think their willingness to be kind of out there and creative is kind of a risk that they're not willing to take. But I mean, after seeing what happened this year, I think they'll probably be way more willing to take a chance next year versus what they did this year.
I disagree because they've had plenty of time to learn this lesson. There's been so many dud servers that have come out, and how many times have they went back to, you know what we're going to do this year, guys, really exciting, do a classic EverQuest TLP with no different rule set, just original, no changes at all.
Yeah.
You know, we put our engineers to work, our developers, they've been working all year to come out with the exact same game you've been playing for 25 years.
And and it didn't make any sense to me that they spent all that time and energy on like, oh, we're giving you encounter locking, and then they like just buzzed it up really big. They were like, yes, it's coming. You're gonna have encounter locking. It got implemented. For the most part, I think people really were afraid of it at first, but the more they got used to it, they're like, oh, this actually makes way more sense to have encounter locking. And then after that, they were just like, oh, we're not going to continue doing that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what the development time on that was.
It seems like a waste.
Yeah, especially when it can't be that hard to make new content. Like, I was throwing out the idea, why not put together some added raid bosses? So have a raid boss in Blackborough, have a raid boss in North Corona. Throw something new in there, throw some new itemization, create a couple new zones. This stuff does not take a long time.
Yeah, like what I was thinking, I was like, I mean, honestly, TLPs were invented largely just by EverQuest, and it's been co-opted by World of Warcraft. I mean, it even took Holly away and to be part of that team going forward. It's just like, you know what, like, I think EverQuest needs to realize that, like, hey, WoW copied you and they did it better with their Season of Discovery, Season of Mastery. They've gotten engagement from old players by adding and changing the original base game, those first couple of, the very first, base game and further expansions, that you could take that same model and just be like, you know what, we're locking it to level 20. We're going to have raid bosses in Oasis and Blackborough and Runii, and create some kind of content, add new items that will change the game in some way off those bosses, and then you'll level lock again at level 30 and a whole new group of zones will have raid bosses that didn't exist before either, which, you know, it's enough different content that it will make it interesting. Or if they wanted to like create AAs that are like level appropriate at like 1 through 20, or create AAs that are level appropriate from 20 to 30. But the problem is that they're so stuck on this, we can't adapt this into the live version of the game, so it requires us to maintain the server this way. It's just like, well, you know, why not just have a server that exists in the base game, and then at some point in the future, if you do release, like when you do release Kunark, you go, well, do you want to, well, we're going to have a split from the servers, so do you want to stay here, or do you want to move on to Kunark? I mean, they've done the same thing in World of Warcraft, where they're not forcing players to move out of whatever expansion is their favorite flavor of expansion. So I don't think EverQuest should take that same thing either and be like forcing people out of it. Because obviously, like, people that play P99, they're like, well, I want to play the base set of the game, I want to play original, or I want to play Kunark. It's like you give people this microcosm of like, we just want to exist here, like this is where we want to be.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. And I know there will be people out there saying it's just too difficult for them to implement all these changes to create new raid bosses. We've played on a P99 server before that allowed GM commands and allowed some tweaking of the database. And this guy was creating brand new weapons. We had the stovepipe of doom. We had a
lollipop of destruction. You know, Excalibur. It was just like, they're literally, it's really like, it was very simple, like creating items. It's just like there was a model that belonged to an item that you would use, like, so you get that look for the item, and then you could enter the name, select the stats that went into the item, and then bing, there's a brand new item just created into the server. And that was just,
it was the same thing for creating mobs too. You could create a mob, name it,
scale it to the size, scale the health, you know, different.
And this required like no programming. It's like a one line of entering in
parameters, yeah,
right?
Exactly. Like,
it's not difficult at all.
And I think it's been clear from, you know, the hero's journey or secrets, not to say that what they're doing isn't challenging, but it's like it's one, like in some cases it's like we're talking about one person here, you know, with the help of maybe a few others, doing what an entire company is unwilling to do with their product. And it just seems crazy to me that they're not, you know, innovating in some way. It's like I think everyone's kind of clamoring for this, like, give us classic plus, like give us, you know, reinvent the original base game for us in some way.
Yeah, because the core mechanics of the game, I think, are still the best out there.
Yeah.
The Trinity, the healer, the crowd control, the tank. I guess that's not the Trinity, I added one. And the DPS, so we got 4. Those 4 main classes are still a core component of every game. The lore of the game, the look of the game, I think it still works for most people of our generation. It's just, we don't want to play the same tired game over and over with no real innovation. There's no market for that anymore. They have to move past it.
Well, that's the crazy thing too about the stipulations that they gave to Secrets about his server, was that their server is like, you have to stop offering these like customized versions of our game. Like, you can't have this, you can't have that, you can't have. So basically, like, telling Secrets, like, you can run your server, but you cannot run it like with all these custom additions that you've created. And I think that is a tactic that they're using, because I think most people, if they saw 2 similar products, and one is a private server and one is a real offering from, you know, is it Daybreak?
No, it's
Darkpaw. Or so a real offering from them, then they're going to choose like potentially doing the real thing. And I think mostly because you're getting a guarantee that when a new server launches, people will flock to it and have a you know, that instant like kind of pop where there's a lot of people playing.
Well, also the real servers have a huge advantage because you don't have to go get a copy of Titanium EverQuest. You don't have to follow all this like stuff to go into the files and replace certain parts of the files. People want simplicity. The main EverQuest client maintained by Darkpaw has the simplicity. It's way easier. People would prefer to do that. So why not offer secrets? Why not offer the guys behind the hero's journey to bring their servers in under the fold into the main game and let them continue to develop and work on that, and charge people $10 a month for access to it, and let people go wild with doing whatever kind of TLPs they want, because you're going to get the most innovation, you're going to get the most development, and then throw these guys, you know, a few bucks. They're doing it for free right now. I'm pretty sure they'd be happy if they could make some kind of living doing it. And I think the amount of people and subscriptions you're going to bring in is going to be more than worth it.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that too. It's like that model also exists. It's like you have people like for Minecraft, like running servers where you're having to like have that hosted by Minecraft, or you're paying to like Roblox, like your host, you created a game, people have to pay you to be able to play it. It's something similar to that, where it's like, oh, well, why not, you know, allow some kind of, you know, invention to happen with a new server, like secrets, or like, you know, basically creating a plus version of the game, or Hero's Journey, which is just completely, you know, changing the core game mechanics of like allowing AAs and mixed class combinations. I mean, these are the things that people are like really, I think, have struck a chord with people of like they're responding like, yes, we're interested in this kind of content.
Get your shit together, Darkpaw.
Yeah. Or then what was the other one I said too? It's like, well, like in Diablo, like there's some randomization that happens with like base stats of items. It's like you could create a server too where it's just like, instead of, you know, random items, like you can have like a little bit of randomness in the stats of items, which is like you have a little bit better, you're trying to min-max like the item that you get. Like maybe you get like a weird, like you get an item with a little bit, you know, oh, I got this with haste, or I got this with like plus AC. You could like basically really get into like the nitty gritty of like, you know, maxing stats like on your specific items so that they all combine into something like really powerful that you want. I think that we kind of covered it. I think you're right. Like you know, Darkpaw, you know, read the room. Like people want to play servers like Secrets and like, you know, the Hero's Journey. They don't want to play this boring old stuff that you keep releasing with the current TLPs.
And if you eliminate the Project 99 guys and the innovation that's happening, they're not going to come to your servers. They're not going to come play the classic TLP. It's done. They're just going to lose those people forever. They're not going to be in the EverQuest universe anymore.
Yeah. I think that sums it up. So thank you for watching. Bye-bye.